Hi guys, I'm back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be giving you my review of my personal breastfeeding journey, as well as the different pumps that I have tried and what has worked best for me. I do want to start out saying thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I want to also say that I am not a lactation consultant. I am not persuading you to do anything. This is just my journey and I'm sharing it with you all. I'm not saying that I'm an expert in knowing about anything of what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you what I've done thus far and what has worked for me, and hoping that maybe you can try some of these things, which this information I got from other mothers and some lactation consultants, and I just literally sharing it on my platform. So first things first, I started off using the pump at the hospital. So my baby was in the NICU for 2 weeks, and while I was in the hospital recovering from giving birth, as well as going to see her, I would use their hospital pump, because the hospital pump that's at the hospital, anybody know that has had a baby that has breastfed and used the pump at the hospital, that thing has a motor like no other. So I used their pump when I would go and see her, and then I would also let her latch on. But I ended up getting the Medela pump, which was through my WIC program. I was able to get a free Medela pump. They allowed me to have a loaner until she got home. And then once she got home, I returned the loaner, and then they gave me one. And I will say the motor in the Medela is literally the same motor that the hospital pump had, which I appreciated. Now, I did get the Spectra. This is the Spectra. And I asked for this on my registry, and I was gifted this from my registry, but the Medela didn't really do what I thought it was going to do. Like, for me, it wasn't pulling like I needed it to pull the breast. I didn't feel like it was really pulling the milk out of my breast. So when I would pump, I didn't really feel like my breast was emptying. So I went with the Medela that was provided through WIC, and it has worked wonders. My favorite thing, so typically whenever I pump, I am pumping anywhere between 8 to 10 ounces. That is 4 ounces on my left breast and 3 ounces on my right breast, or between 3 to 4 ounces on my right breast. I am pumping every 2 hours. And for me, whenever I stopped bleeding from, and this may be too much information, but like I said, I'm just gonna share my experience. So I have been told that whenever you start your period, your milk supply kind of decreases. For me, whenever I started my period, my milk supply literally increased like no other, to the point that when I stopped bleeding, my milk supply kind of went down, and I was so worried because I thought I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. But it was the opposite for me. So for me, I didn't have any problem with my milk supply while I was bleeding. And I noticed, like, when I am on my cycle, I do have a lot more of a milk supply than I would when I'm not on my period. One of the other things that I wanted to say is I love my manual breast pump. When I tell you I have this beside my bed at 3 a.m. to just go, I love it. It does empty my breast. I think the thing that I love the most about my breast pumps that I use is that they really do empty. I prefer a breast pump that will empty my breast, because we all know the discomfort of just having a clogged, your breast being clogged, and they're swelling up and they're hard and it's uncomfortable. I absolutely love having my manual breast pump. It is a 5-ounce bottle. Typically, I usually put 2 beside my bed, because I feel a 1 in the middle of the night, because I haven't pumped. Typically, I try to pump from 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and so on and so forth. And my last pump is at 8 or 9, and I probably won't pump again until like 12 a.m. or like 2 a.m. because I'm tired, I'm sleeping, I'm trying to get rest when the baby's sleeping. So I have this beside my bed. I usually put 2 of the little bottles beside my bed, and I just put it on and just go to work. And I love this thing. Like, I pack this in her baby bag whenever we go anywhere, because I love this. Now, I will say the Medela pump, I have not used this Medela pump since I purchased my Elvie portable pumps. But this, when she first came home from the hospital, this is the Elvie pump that they gave me, well, that I got from Wick. And basically it came with different little bottles, and this is detachable. So basically you just attach your bottle to your little suction, and then you take the wires and you stick them in here, and then you hold them up to your breast and they'll do the job. And still, even though this is the Medela pump, this is the manual Medela pump, I still feel like the manual pump is better. Now, I would say the Spectra, for me, I give it like a 5 out of 10, because again, I didn't like that it wasn't really pulling the milk out of my breast as much as I needed it to. And I thought that maybe I was using it wrong, but I wasn't. I watched YouTube videos, I read the manual, it just didn't do it for me, and that's totally fine. Everything does not work. What works for someone else may not work for you. But I do have it, and I do plan on gifting it to another mom that is expecting. So the Medela pump that I have right here, I have not used it because I purchased my Elvie to go pumps, and I want to talk about that. So the Elvie pumps, y'all, let me tell you something. If you are an on-the-go mom and you are literally just doing things around the house, y'all, these have like literally saved me so much time, because sitting down and having to pump both breasts. Now, I do love this manual pump, but when I can't manually pump, I usually just stick these in and I go. And if I'm on the go, I do have this with me because I'll just empty the rest of it out. Now, I do give these like an 8 out of 10, and I give it an 8 out of 10 because these don't really empty my breast like I would like for them to empty my breast. But for convenience, and because I'm really big on convenience, I have to give them an 8. But I didn't give them a 10 out of 10 because they don't really empty my breast, and I don't like being uncomfortable. But I love the convenience of being able to just put these in and just go. Like when I have the baby, for example, if I need to pump and she doesn't want me to lay her down and I really need to pump, I can just put these in and just wear this kangaroo sack and still get things around the house done. So it's a win-win for me. Mamas, you know. Now these were $500. I did get 15% off. Well, I didn't get 15% off. What happened was I tried to use my 15% off that BuyBuy Baby gives you, and then I tried to use my 20% little discount that BuyBuy Baby gives you, because I had never used it. And whenever I went to purchase these, they actually had a 15% off discount. So that was perfect for me, and I just went ahead and purchased them. So I think in all it was like $460 for these. This is how it looks, and this is where the milk comes. It is, whenever you're done pumping, you can just press this button and then boom. And it does also hold 5 ounces, which is perfect for me because that's typically what I use. And the little suction here is good, and it gives you areas of, it shows you where to insert your nipple so that you can get to pumping. I love this, y'all. I really do. Actually, I'm gonna go a step further and say that I'll give it a 9 out of 10, because I still have to say I love for my breast to be empty, so I can't give it a 10 out of 10, but for convenience, I absolutely love it. You just press the on button here, and it'll show you which breast. So this one is for the left breast, so you just put it on the left breast and you can get to work. And you are able to turn up the volume on it. So once I turn the volume up, sometimes it does suction it, but if the battery is dead, like almost going dead, I don't think that it suctions that well when the battery is going dead, of course. But I will say, I do have the Elvie app, so it shows you how much you are pumping in each breast and how long you have been pumping, and you can kind of keep a track of it. Now, the Elvie app is not always up to date and accurate, because I don't know why, but I saw that on another video where a mom said that the app isn't really accurate because sometimes the app will tell me that I am pumping 3 ounces when I have already filled it up to 5. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but overall, I love my portable pump. Now, how I store my milk is using these Nano BB, because in the beginning, she was using the Nano BB bottles that are like your nipple, like the breast. They are for, hold on one second, because I actually have the bottle. So she was using these. This is the Nano BB bottle, and it's supposed to be like a breast nipple. However, she used these for like 2 weeks and she was over it. So I did not use these very long, but I did get the kit. So I pretty much used all of my bags. And so for example, it does have like the name, the volume, the date, and the time. Because she's at home and it's just me, I already know her name. I usually just put the time on there and the date. So like I pumped this at 11 a.m. and this is about 5 ounces. And so boom, she drinks between 4 and 5 ounces already. So this is literally how I store it. Put it in the refrigerator, boom, keep going. For me, I would say my breastfeeding journey has been, some days it's tiring. So I'll say this: the days that I did not want to pump or I didn't feel like pumping, I purchased my Elvie pump. So the reason I know that I wanted to breastfeed her for a minimum of 6 months, and to hold myself accountable, I invested in these because I knew, like, okay, if I don't feel like sitting, that was the big thing for me. I didn't want to sit down and have to like be still, because there's so much that I'm doing around the house, and it's so much like things when I have to be on the go. I didn't want to just sit down. So I purchased these because I was like, look, I know I need to I know I want to continue breastfeeding her. I know I want to succeed at breastfeeding. So I need to help myself help me. I need to help I needed to be able to keep going. So I purchased these and I have been using them and I do love them. So to keep my milk supply going, I pump every 2 hours, and I am drinking Body Armor. Peach Mango is like my favorite flavor, but I drink these like no other. This and water is all I drink. So it's like me alternating Body Armor and water. I have seen comments of people saying, oh, if you're drinking that, you may be dehydrated. I'm not dehydrated, but this, I know what worked for me. When I was in the hospital, like my second day in the hospital, and the lactation consultant came in and she started to like massage my breast, and she was showing me that the colostrum was present and that I would be able to breastfeed. I started drinking this Peach Mango, and I saw how my milk was increasing. And I know people say like, oh, this and that, but for me, this is what worked. I also noticed, well, the more that I drink the water, my milk was going, and also the more pumping that you do. So you have to move milk to make milk. So frequent pumping works, but just be mindful so that you don't damage the tissue in your nipples and all that other good stuff. That's what has worked for me thus far in my breast pumping journey, and I absolutely love it. I will say my baby was born 4 pounds 13 ounces when I started breastfeeding her. By the time she came home, she went up to like 6 pounds within a week. I can't make this up. Now she's 10 pounds. So she's literally gaining because of the breast milk. And I really love the benefits of it. Like seeing her grow, seeing her just be so alert and active. Like I wasn't gonna stop this journey. So that's why I was so hell-bent on making sure that I invested in what I needed to. And my support system has been 100% amazing. So when I was going through the whole low milk supply situation, well, when I thought my milk supply was low, I reached out to my friend who's a doula. I reached out to my friends, and I even had other moms tell me like, girl, don't stop, keep going, because I wanted to keep pumping. My friend even sent me someone to reach out to so that I could talk to her and she could guide me on what I needed to do. And then I just was like, okay, I'm gonna go and buy the Elvie pumps too. So along with just all of the support and people encouraging me to keep going and not having someone to say, oh, like project, that's another thing. Do not allow other people to project their what didn't work out for them on you. Like, still try and keep going. Like, mama, soon to be mama, like, you can do this. I feel so happy to tell people that you can do it, because I did it. And I'm telling you, I was in the hospital bed, like, so discouraged, because I was like, I gave birth early, so I'm not going to be able to, I didn't know. So I was like, I gave birth early, I'm not going to be able to breastfeed my baby. And when the lactation consultant came in and she saw the discouragement on my face, like, she was like, you see that? That's colostrum. And I was like, okay. And so she told me to start pumping. She brought me a pump and she was like, start pumping like 10 minutes a day. And y'all, that really.
So you're gonna put that over the breast, and if we need to readjust it, we can. So sometimes it'll kind of move. You'll be able to tell that it's working because you'll see it kind of moving. So you want to kind of put it over the. And as long as it's, once you finish, you know, you may have to. If you're holding it, kind of hold it here if you can. When you're finished, it'll kind of, you'll want to kind of move it forward. If there's milk, you don't want it to drip around. I'll show you.
Oh. Do I need to sit up more?
Do you feel comfortable sitting up? You can keep it like that. You don't have to. I have moms that do it laying back. As long as you're just kind of keeping it up to the. And when you're pumping more, you can do, you can get some warm washcloths if you want to, or if you're getting up, you can shower, but warmth or massage a little bit beforehand, or the hand expression. And I'll show you the hand expression. It's I think I put a little paper into it.
So I just do it for like 10 minutes?
You can do it 10 to 20 minutes. It's fine. And then once, is that one doing okay?
Nothing's coming, but.
Well, it usually, even if babies, it takes them a couple of minutes to kind of get something going. But if this is your first time, it may not. And we can try, when you get finished, I can try to hand express, show you that. There's little cups so you can collect milk. If you do the hand expression, you can collect it with a little cup. It makes it a little easier.
I watched that lady on YouTube do it.
Oh, good. Yeah, there's something called, there's a good one. What's it called? First drops or something like that. So this is hand expression. I always tell moms, don't squeeze the nipple or the area, the areola that's right behind it. You want to take your hand kind of on the breast. If you pretend like there's little stickers there, there they are. And you're going to push back a little bit, and then take your hand and go inward, and then relax. So it keeps it. You're not doing this because you're keeping it in the same place. Your fingers. You're just compressing inward like she's doing there. And then when you relax your hand, the breast fills back up again.
Okay.
But when you're using it, as long as you can see the movement, and these little things will move.
When I saw that little colostrum coming in, I was so excited, y'all. I was pumping literally little small tubes. Like, they had given me like a supply of tubes, encouraging me to keep going. Like, I was pumping like little small syringes of, matter of fact, I can show you. So I found the syringe. This is the syringe that I started off with. So my mom was literally walking over to the NICU with this little syringe, taking them colostrum for my baby, so that they could start doing oral care with it. But yeah, I started out here, y'all. Before, I was filling up these 5 ounces of like 5 ounce bottles. I literally started out pumping this. And so the nurses in the NICU, they literally gave me like tons of these, and then tons of the bigger little syringes. And this is what I was pumping until I was able to fill up bottles. And so I found all of the syringes that I was mentioning to you all. So this is where I started out. So I started out with this little syringe. My mom was literally taking this across the hall to the NICU for them to start oral care for my daughter. And then I upgraded to this little syringe, which is a 5 milliliter syringe. And then I started filling up little bottles like this. And this was actually her first bottle, and I kept it because I wanted to keep it to put in her shadow box. But this is literally like, this is how I started. I started filling up all of these things. So it was baby steps for me. So it was this, and then it was this, and then it was this. And I'm keeping all of this just so that I can pretty much like, just for me and for her, but whatever. But that is how I started with my breastfeeding. And I didn't just immediately go to filling up 5-ounce bottles. I literally started out small. So if you are watching this and you are wondering, you know, if you're pumping enough or if you're doing a good enough job, if you are getting milk from your breast, you're doing an amazing job, mama. So like, don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like you're not, you know, doing whatever. I did have those feelings of like, God, I'm not doing what I need to do. Like, I'm not pumping enough milk. Is my baby getting enough milk? The baby gonna let you know if you're pumping enough or not, but you're doing an amazing job. So keep going and don't give up on it. I also wanted to show this breastfeeding starter kit that I received as a gift from one of my friends. Actually, the same friend that bought me this, she also helped invest in these little portable breast pumps as a gift to me as well. Shout out to Chelsea. Chelsea was like pro breastfeeding for me. So she was like, when I say support system, you need those people in your corner that are just like, no, I'm not gonna let you give up where you are right now, girl. You're gonna keep breastfeeding. But I love this little kit because it did come with the cream that I needed for my breast. When you are pumping, or just, I'll speak for myself. I'm pumping, so my nipples do get sore, and I also have a flat nipple. So I did appreciate this box because I was able to use the nipple averter that pushes your nipple out, as well as the packs that come with it to kind of soothe you from pumping so much. And I do still use my little breast pads after I pump. And then these are, I have already used the other two, but these are the little cooling packs that go onto your breast to help you to provide some relief for your breast. So I think for me, that's it. I pretty much covered, you know, my little spread here. I showed you my little spread here and what my journey, and told you a little bit of what my journey has been like. It can be tiring, it is time consuming, but you have to just think at the end of the day, this is what you're doing to feed your baby. If you do have to supplement, that is totally fine. I have definitely thought about supplementing because your girl be tired and I have other things I want to do, and I be wanting to drink my, oh, that's another thing. Drinking, having a glass of wine. I was ready to have a glass of wine on Christmas, so I did have a glass of wine, and what I did was I pumped. I waited 2 hours before I fed her, but the milk that I pumped after having a glass of wine, I used it in her bath water. I switched soaps on her, and she did start to develop a very small rash, and I noticed how when I used that milk in her water, the rash was gone. So yeah, you can still use your milk. You don't have to feel bad about having a glass of wine. And you can do your research and look at the CDC website, and it'll show you about how long the breast milk stays inside of you. I mean, the alcohol stays inside of your breast milk. Now, yeah, for me, that's what worked for me. Thank you so much for tuning into my video. I am going to be getting ready to put baby girl down. So if you all have any requests on videos that you would like to see me do, whether it is for nursing school or for motherhood, just let me know and I'll be happy to provide those videos for you. In the meantime, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And again, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.